Hey everyone, this is the Wounded Womb, Mind of Lilith, and today I'm going to be taking a deeper look into the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I believe is Season 3, Episode 18. I'm not going to be doing a full episode recap as there are plenty of YouTubers who do a wonderful job of this already. I will instead be focusing on the specific scenes of the show which I believe could be used as teachable moments for myself and the audience. So, the episode starts with a continuation of the argument between Martell and Melody, which again is very toxic. I'm going to be discussing that further in another conversation. But for today, I'm going to be focusing on Tisha and women like Tisha who are fake friends, who want to find out the dirt about you, who want to find out bad things that have happened to you, to weaponize them against you in the future. In this episode, Tisha kept trying to dig at Tiffany to find out dirt about her life, her first marriage, if she cheated, why she cheated, all this other business, right? Probably because she felt some kind of way about Lewis telling her about Marceau and then Tiffany kind of broadcasting that. Fine. But Tisha is the kind of woman, to me, the kind of fake friend who will put all of your dirt out there, who will tell all of your secrets if you guys have a falling out. I have had fake friends who have betrayed me in the past. And even though I was smart enough not to tell them my business, they still tried to hurt me with the very little things that they thought they knew about me. But on my end, I've never told any of my friends or ex-friends secrets to this day. If someone told me something in confidence, I'm not going to use that or weaponize that against them in the future, ever. That's a confidential conversation. Even if you fall out with the person, they told you their private business in confidence, hoping that you'll keep it to your chest. Because sometimes women vent to other women and they tell, their business and they need someone to listen to them. And I understand that. So I've never taken someone's private, personal, secret conversations and broadcasted it or told anybody else if we had a falling out. In season 1, Tisha and Melody had a falling out because Tisha thought that Melody was trying to shade her or make her feel some kind of way or, ice her out as a friend. And Melody was trying to explain that she was going through some stuff in her personal life, so she really didn't have the capacity to be the same type of friend that she was before then. At this point, I'm starting to think that Tisha had a guilty conscience, which is why she attacked Melody. Because Tisha knew that Martell bought his mistress a matching BMW. But somehow she didn't understand why Melody would not be as sociable or friendly or communicative or available again as she had been in the past. But she knew about this car. So if you know your best friends or your friend's husband's cheating on her, why would you expect her to show up in the relationship the same way? Why wouldn't you have any compassion, patience, or empathy for her? Then we find out that Marceau, Tisha's husband, was helping Martell to cheat. And in a classic case of projection, instead of taking not responsibility because it's not her fault, but instead of acknowledging the role that her husband played in breaking up her friend's marriage, Tisha used the affair to attack Melody and bring her down to size. Even after Melody basically helped her to level up with the show, with some connections that she gave her professionally, with some networking opportunities that she provided her, all of this stuff that Melody did for Tisha, and for her to turn around and to throw this mistress in her face, while pretending not to know why Melody wouldn't be as friendly or chummy as she had been, was the first time I realized that Tisha was a snake. Then we find out that Tisha was talking smack about Kimmy behind her back to Kaiwa, allowing Kiowa to go around calling Kimmy a side piece and agreeing with her, right? And at this point, Tisha had known Kimmy for 7-8 years. It wasn't like she was a stranger. So you're allowing this woman who's remarried to talk mess about your sister-in-law. And you're eating it up. You're enjoying the messiness. You could see Tisha's face when she's enjoying someone else's mess. She looks happy and satisfied. And she looks like she feels more secure about herself because there are people around her who she looks up to or admires that are going through BS too. Then we also see that Tisha in the last season was allowing Martell to talk mess about Melody, and Tisha believed the things that a man who had been cheating on his wife for 5 years was saying about another woman, her former friend, Melody. Martell, the person who was cheating on his wife for several years. And Tisha knew this at this point. Instead of, supporting another woman, and instead of basically seeing Martell for who he was, she allowed Martell to disrespect his wife and talk mess about her. And we saw this, I believe it was season 2, episode 17 or 18, when they had their black party. And she was like, Martell was talking about you like you were a hoe out here. And earlier in that episode, Tisha was smiling in Martell's face and all this other stuff and acting like they were cool. Like if anybody talked about anyone that I knew, former friend or not, like a dog, I would have a problem with that. Even if it wasn't my friend at the time, right? We had some sort of falling out. So for Tisha to be smiling and smug and rolling around in the mud of someone else's dysfunctional, broken marriage, it was very telling for me. I knew what kind of character she had at that point. If you guys also remember last season when Wanda and Martell got into it, and Tisha was like, Melody's not innocent, right? Because, again, Martell was telling lies to Tisha, and Tisha wanted to believe those lies. In spite of knowing that her husband was helping Martell to cheat for years, right? It didn't matter because, again, Tisha wanted an excuse to not like Melody because she's passive aggressive and a secret enemy. The reason why Melody was so upset with Tisha in season 1 and part of season 2 was because she had given Tisha so many opportunities to level herself up, to start her little businesses, to shadow her, to model after her. She again brought her into her professional network. She did a lot to elevate Tisha, and for her to turn around and at the first opportunity use Melody's husband's indiscretion as a way to denigrate her character, Melody's character, right? As a way of saying, well, the reason why your husband cheated was because there's something wrong with you. She didn't say that directly, but her actions implied that. Her language implied that. The fact that she allowed Martell to disrespect Melody still by talking mess about her implied that. When Tisha's trying to get into Tiffany's business, it's not because she cares about Tiffany and wants to show some solidarity. It's because some women want to find out things about you that are unpleasant or unsavory or bad as some sort of initiation into the sisterhood of fuckery, right? Sisterhood of trifling women. If I find out some dirt about you, we can be close buddies. That's not what it's about. They want to find out dirt about you so that in the event that you elevate your game and you level up, they can kind of clip your wings by reminding you of the things that have happened in the past. They'll say things like, oh, I knew where you came from. I remember when your husband was cheating on you and how you were sleeping on my couch for a month and, you couldn't get it together. But girl, I'm proud of you now. They will use your low points to kind of clip your wings and cut you down to size if in the event you become successful or something good happens in your life. Tisha reminds me of those kinds of women. They don't want to be sisters with you. They don't want to find out your business, to connect with you in a way. They want to find out so that you can make them feel better about their own lives. If you ever were to pass them socially or economically, they'll still remind you of that. Even if they don't do it to your face, subconsciously, they're thinking they're in a better position than you still, because at least I never cheated on my husband. At least my husband never cheated on me. At least I'm still married. All of those comparisons, just like when Tisha's ratchet mother was comparing her granddaughter's hair with Melody's children's hair, fostering like unhealthy competition and insecurity in young girls, so that now we can't be friends. We can't be as close as we want to be because there's something that you have that I don't have, that people are going to judge me for and use against me. So now there's competition, right? This is bred into children at a young age by their ratchet community, parents, friends, whoever. Then later on in the episode, Tisha and the girls are at Destiny's brunch. On a side note, one thing I don't like about a lot of reality shows that showcase women who don't have stuff going on in their real lives is that these women throw events and parties for absolutely nothing. To celebrate what? I don't know, life? I get it, but Destiny's party launch thing was unnecessary and just, I don't know, a vanity project? But anyway, I didn't like the fact that Tisha called out Melody for not giving her a donation or a sponsorship for the event. It was in poor taste because of one main reason. You know Melody just got divorced, and you know that divorce is expensive, and Melody's money could have been tied up in the bankruptcy courts, whatever. There was a lot going on for her. For you to even ask her for any money was in poor taste. If she wanted to offer, that's, up to her. But again, Tisha wanted to show out, and she wanted to make Melody or the other woman feel like you're not on my level, to make the woman feel bad. Even though Melody took it in stride, she had to save face. It doesn't matter why she didn't give the check. This woman is a single mother of 4 children who just got out of a divorce, who just lost her businesses. Why are you asking her for any money? And to put her on blast in front of other women to say, I didn't get a check from you either. That kind of behavior is what I'm talking about when it comes to women being fake friends and secret enemies. A lot of women in professional spaces, they will pretend to be your friend, to get close to you, to find out dirt about you so they can use it to subconsciously put themselves above you. Or when you become successful, or when you do something that is exceptional or worthy of some sort of social or public recognition, they will use your past to remind you of where you came from, and in a way that is meant to embarrass you or humble you, right? This is the reason why a few weeks ago I said that I would never be friends with a woman like Tisha. After that cafe scene when her and Melody were sitting and talking about, what their issues were, and Tisha refused to listen because she felt guilty about her husband helping Martell to cheat, but didn't want to say that, I would not be friends with Tisha after that, fake or otherwise. I don't know if they're doing it for the show, but there's no way in hell I would have a woman like Tisha in my circle, period. You don't have to be antagonistic or rude to the person. You can be cordial and professional, fine. But as far as letting you in my house and my business, no, there's no way. And this is, I think, the reason why Kimmy is so triggered by Tisha, because she's not saying what she really wants to say. She knows that Tisha is sneaky, and she knows that Tisha is passive aggressive. And even though it seems like Kimmy is being petty about the whole group text situation, she knows how Tisha thinks. And she knows that Tisha will take little digs at you behind your back while telling you things are cool in the meantime. Kimmy is on alert, and she's trying to call out Tisha to make sure that she is put on notice. Like, I can see what you're trying to do here. Kimmy saw what Tisha did to Melody. Tisha was gaslighting Melody. She will create stories and scenarios in her head and force you to prove those stories wrong. It's like you're fighting against a ghost or smoke. Whatever illusion she has in her head, she projects that onto you without any evidence or proof of anything because she's guilty. She feels guilty about something else, or she has some other weird idea about the reality of the situation. And then she'll force you to defend yourself from baseless attacks. So like Martell, Tisha will say something that's so baseless and untrue that you spend more time defending yourself from a lie than addressing the original problem in the first place. Like when Martell was telling Melody that she was cheating too, just to deflect from the fact that he was cheating and also to force Melody to defend herself, to the point where now she doesn't even have the time and the energy to address what he was doing to her in the first place. Tisha does the same thing. She has these delusions in her head about what's going on around her, and then she'll make up a story and force you to prove that the story that she created was false. But you can't do that because the information that she used to create this false narrative doesn't exist. So you're constantly fighting against a ghost or smoke or something. It's not realistic. And the argument never gets resolved because it's baseless. It comes from nowhere. There's no way to prove that a lie is not true. Because if you can create a lie in the first place, you can also lie about the reasons why you came to that conclusion. And whatever evidence is presented to prove the contrary to your lie, you can lie about that also. So it doesn't go anywhere. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this particular episode. For now, I'm going to address the dynamic between Kimmy and Maurice at some point. Also, the fact that Tisha's husband purchased a luxury car while he has her in that tiny house with 3 kids and complaining about her little makeup. Marceau has a 2-seater as a married man while he's complaining about his wife spending too much money and they're living in that little house. He's manipulating the hell out of her too. I'm going to address this with some sensitivity. I don't want to bash a married couple. Even though I can talk about Tisha and her antics, I don't want to say anything that could contribute to the breakup of a marriage. So I'm going to be careful about how I address Marceau, Tisha, Kimmy, and Maurice in the future. But anyway, thank you again for listening. I look forward to reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.